Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Captain Mowatt, it is the Canceaux Turbeaux. And Canceaux is, I think, somewhere in Nova Scotia. And Turbeaux is sort of, I think it's meant to turbo, like turbos the engines. And Canceaux was in the Pink Panther movies. So we've got some ingredients here. 4 types of red chili peppers. Those are specifically red jalapeno. We've got one of them here, actually. Yeah, I don't know which one this is, but so it could be maybe a cayenne or maybe the Japon. But so in addition to the red jalapeno, there is cayenne, there is bird's eye, and there is, as I mentioned, Japon. We also have water, cane sugar, vinegar, garlic, salt, xanthan gum, and Maine seaweed. So the idea of the Canceaux sauce, as I understand it, was that it was meant to be a seafood type experience. Hot, sweet. No. There's none of those peppers are hot. We have the Mighty Compass here, of course, as usual, and it's a really good looking sauce. This threw me though. This pepper just kind of floating in the sauce, and it kind of interfered. But I wanted to leave it. I wanted to leave it there rather than take it out because I wanted it for this video, because you know that's a fun visual to have. See. My guess is that it probably will come out in the course of this video. You can see it just kind of floating there like a beached something. I'm not sure I love the idea of whole pods going in bottles of sauce or maple syrup and like that. I guess it's not the worst thing that could happen. I'm undecided on it. There was for a while a beer that came with a pepper at the bottom. A very tasty Mexican beer. I don't remember the name of it now. In fact, if that was still around, I probably would do a video on that. But I haven't seen it for, boy, at this point, probably a couple decades. But I like the idea better there than in sauces here. Like in sauces and in the maple syrup, and I believe the maple syrup was from Tennessee Hot Sauce Company. You can check out the Syrups and Honeys playlist if you want to see that. But it just kind of disrupts the pour, and I don't quite understand any need for it. All right, let's veer back on track now, and we've got a sort of reddish orange look to this sauce. It is, we've got some flecks of pepper in there. So when I think of a seafood sauce, I almost always think of a cocktail sauce. I don't quite think this is like that, but let's just get on into it. So, very, very tasty. There is a regular Canceaux version of this sauce, but since the Turbo was the only one that even suggested any heat, obviously, if you paid attention to the blog or this video series at all, you know that we are going to almost always opt for the higher heat. And I think the regular was just maybe red jalapeno and cayenne, possibly something like that. What this sauce reminds me of actually is sort of the sweet Asian sauces, like the sweet Asian dipping sauces you would get, the red ones that would kind of go with your wontons or something along those lines. That's really what this reminds me of. Not really so much cocktail sauce, both in terms of flavor and in consistency. It reminds me of that Asian style sauce way more than anything else. And I think it actually fits that role extremely well. But this is such a good tasting sauce. Again, brilliant choice of peppers here. It is such a good tasting sauce that I have no reservation using this in places I would not necessarily use that sort of sweet Asian, sweet Thai sort of chili sauce. And that sauce, if you're not familiar, if you sort of think of a much more syrupy, much sweeter version of the sriracha framework, that's essentially, to me, what you're kind of looking at there. All right, so I did get seafood, though. I got shrimp and surimi again. And I'm still less than pleased with how much this is, but I did want this for the video, so you know how much I love you guys out there. You can see right here, I'm gonna get rid of that. This is actual cocktail sauce. We'll get rid of that though. You can see how much I love you because there I am just splurging away on this so we can have a cool video. All right, so we're just gonna throw it on the, oh, there goes the pepper. We're gonna throw it on the shrimp and the surimi. I love these bottles. Like there's a good, what are these? 8 ounces, I want to say, 8 or 10. Yeah, 8 fluid ounces. Every one of their sauces comes like that, and I don't think. Oop, here's the pepper. If you can identify it, whatever that is, I don't know. I shan't be partaking of that, so I'm really not a fan of that idea. Oh, they're still frozen. Great. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to work my way through the ice here. Is the surimi frozen? That is such an excellent sauce. Like, this is one of the better tasting sauces. Probably the best one. Probably the best tasting sauce I've had from Mowatt's so far. That pepper combination, I believe, is the same one that's in their shark bite mustard, which I've also done. You can check out the mustards playlist if you want to see that. Yeah, really good. It's just a delicious sauce. I can see why the regular Canceaux sauce, which apparently was their claim to fame, I can see why that would be their claim to fame. Just excellent. Heat is very minimal. I mean, the hottest. I guess that's why the sauce isn't sticking to the shrimp very well. It's frozen. You can make a case for the cayenne or the bird's eye being the hottest thing in here, which are just never going to be. Particularly scorching. But man, it is delicious. That was the smooth, good move getting this version as well. I would have been I really wish these weren't frozen still. I didn't even think to check that. Never occurred to me. I'm eating shrimp ice here. Lovely. You probably hear the crunch. That is, in fact, ice. One thing I might do here is, let me finish the surimi because that's thawed. It's really good on the surimi. Just outstanding. Yeah, they've hit just on a fantastic sauce. Although I think it is, like I said, much more in the vein of that Asian style sweet Thai chili. That sort of sauce. Really super good though. Sometimes those sauces get really garlic heavy, and there's no mistaking that. Like, you could definitely pick up the garlic notes here, but it's definitely offset by the wonderful flavor of the peppers and the cane sugar there. I don't know if the seaweed is playing a role, particularly, like, it's not very forward in the flavor if it is. And that's something they put in every sauce. I suspect it does add a bit of umami to it, but this is definitely more of that sweet Asian style sauce. I'm going to go de-thaw these here real quick. How embarrassing. I said that completely wrong. De-thaw would be like I'm refreezing them. I wasn't. I was thawing them, not de-thawing them. Not to be overly pedantic, but we like to be accurate here. Alrighty. Now, so cocktail sauce is thick enough that it will hold on to the shrimp. This sauce, not as much. It does stick to things pretty well, but it's not really thick like that. It's still good, but it'd be better with, say, a breaded shrimp. That's where you'd start to see that holding a lot better. Yeah, it's really, really good. I usually don't get those sweet Asian style sauces just because I don't eat the food that would go with super frequently. But I am glad to have this because this is really truly an excellent sauce. When I first came across Captain Mowatt's, it was for stuff, non-hot sauce stuff, and I thought they'd make fun videos, and you'll be able to see those throughout the year. Some beef jerky, I think, some cashews, I believe, was somewhere in there as well. And of course that shark bite mustard. And then I looked around, and I really saw a lot of strongly positive comments about this, about the Canceaux. Usually when I see verbiage on a company's website where people are saying it's the best sauce they've ever had, blah, 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 I take that with multiple grains of salt. If I was a hot sauce maker, that's probably what I would do too. It's probably all you'd see on my site is commentary about how great the stuff I produced was. Like, I get that. So, but that's why, like, I take it with just a huge, huge grain of salt. But it did seem like a sauce that, like a regional favorite, that I wasn't super familiar with. I hadn't heard it at all. I just kind of stumbled across it while searching around for stuff to do videos on one day. And I'm glad I did. The fruit sauces, I've done a number of those as well. I like those to a degree as well. A lot less than this, though. This is definitely the best thing I've had from them. I think my favorite thing is probably still that shark bite mustard, though. Phenomenal product. But you know, like, this sauce is flexible in a way that you can use it on Asian and you can also use it on seafood. I think very definitely, like, it's going to go super well with crab. You could probably put it on lobster if that was a thing you wanted to try. I know sometimes people get to be really pearl clutchy and purist about that stuff. Calamari, the breaded seafoods in particular, this is going to go like a charm. Like an absolute champ. So, yeah, I mean, it's, I wasn't sure what to expect with this, other than it was, you know, they kind of earmarked it as a seafood type sauce, which it sort of is. But I think that sort of Asian influence in there, it just, if I took this strictly as like a sweet Thai or a sweet chili sauce of the Asian variety, this would be right at the top. It is just a phenomenal sauce. And we'll leave it right there. So that was the Captain Mowatt's Canceaux Turbeaux hot sauce. Number 4. In peace, to serve the flame.